if you're trying to move better, to feel better, and to perform your best, and to overall help your long-term athleticism, one of the things that you must continue to work on is your mobility. Mobility is probably one of the first things to go and one of the easiest things to get back. But because of stress, because of repetitive movements, because of sitting and all the things that we do, we end up getting really tight. And what mobility is, it's just basic optimal joint range of motion. And it's not necessarily putting doing the splits or putting your leg over your head. It's having just the right amount of joint range of motion so that you can maintain good alignment, maintain good posture. A lot of people are so restricted that they can't even get in the proper alignment, whether it be in sitting, whether it be in standing, or even doing their athletic movements. So that's what mobility is, and that's one of the reasons why, in order to help with your mobility, we like to do a little tissue hygiene, and there's some other videos if you want to check that out. Do those tissue hygiene exercises because it'll make your mobility drills so much more effective. Another thing that most people miss is hydration, and if you're dehydrated, your mobility will be decreased. So hydrate your body and make sure you do that. Why do you need mobility? Mobility, like I said, is necessary for proper joint alignment. Good mobility also helps give your brain more information so that you can have a higher quality movement. And what we know is that the people who move well, they feel well and they look good too. So if you have some restrictions in your joint or in your mobility, your brain just doesn't get enough information, and then you have to make a decision based on less knowledge. And what we know is that knowledge is power, even in the physical sense. So feed your brain great information by getting mobility work. Now, you might ask, how do we get this mobility work? Well, we get it through doing a series of stretches, and not only doing our tissue hygiene work first, but we also like to do some stretches. And there's just some common patterns after the 20-25 years that we've been working with people. Most people get tightness in their ankles or their hips, or they get tight in the mid-back. And so those are just some of the common areas that will show you how to stretch or how to gain more mobility. You want to hold each stretch anywhere from 30 to 90 seconds and be aware of your breath. If you're holding your breath, you're telling your brain, hey, we need to hunker down and tighten up. So think about your breath and tell your body to relax when you're doing this stuff. If you have any other questions, check us out at mywellnessmechanics.com and have fun and work hard and practice. Thank you. Have a slight arch in your low back. Rotate your palms so that they're facing the ceiling. And chin to your Adam's apple. If you have numbness in your hands, stop immediately, and you could roll side to side to open up your pecs. Place your hands on your stomach and breathe in. Be aware of your upper chest and do not let it rise. You could put your hands on your flanks, and as you're breathing in, try to get 360 degrees of expansion in your lower abdominal and rib cage area. Now that you've practiced your breathing, you could bring your legs up and keep your spine nice and long and tall, shoulders out of the ears, chin to the Adam's apple, and working your breathing. Maintain a slight hollow in your low back and a tall spine. If your knees or hips are too tight, you could grab beneath or behind the knees, and you should be feeling this stretching in the hips. Cup your feet and grab your rib cage. Exhale and try to flush your rib cage against your lower abdominal wall. Feel the stretch in your pec and slowly work on your breathing. Have your legs at 90 degrees to the wall. Make sure your butt is all the way against the wall with a small hollow underneath your spine. Reach over your head
and slowly let your arms go over your head and keep your chin to the Adam's apple. Have your fingers facing all the way backwards at 12 o'clock and your feet at 12 o'clock. Lift your chest up and maintain a nice tall spine. Don't let your chin poke forward, and stretch through the arms, the chest, and the biceps. Grab one foot with the opposite hand. Tuck your tail underneath you, or posterior tilt, pelvic tilt. Maintain a level belt line. Don't let the hip kick out. If you want to increase the stretch, you could lift the arm up. If your quadricep is too tight, you could put a block or pillow underneath, but make sure you tuck the pelvis underneath you, level the pelvis, and get into that stretch. Have your legs at a 90 degrees. Rotate your belt buckle towards the back leg. You should feel it in the upper back part of the hip. Maintain a tall spine, and you could use the back hand to prop you up. Do not let the spine laterally flex or allow your body to go in a C shape. Keep your feet in the same spot as you're rotating from side to side. If you want, you could put your hands behind you to support your weight. Maintain a tall spine. This should not be hurting your knees or your back. Try to work up into not using your hands at all.